Hey, what's going on, everyone? Before we get into our conversation, I want to let you know this podcast is sponsored by BetRivers.com. BetRivers.com, the best place for all your sports gambling needs. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You can also watch all of these episodes on the Field of 68 YouTube channel. Now, let's get into our conversation. What's up, everyone? This is Eric Devendorf, your host of the SCORER'S TABLE podcast. Today, we got one of my good friends, one of the best shooters ever at Syracuse, but not only that, one of the hardest workers. And also, you know, he changed numbers. He went to that Ray Allen number. So I'd like to welcome one of my good friends, Demetris Nichols, a.k.a. D. Nick. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
I'm glad you had me, man. I'm glad I'm on the show. I mean, like, it took you a while, but I'm glad I'm here.
I know. You know what? Hey, look, Ralph Addison came at me over the weekend.
Did he? I already know.
I ain't been on your podcast yet, man. I'm like, Ralph, dang, let me, D Nick ain't been on either, so let me hold on real quick. Hold on, bro.
Glad I'm here. We all family, and I'm glad that we can, you know what I'm saying, chop it up, catch up.
No doubt, absolutely. So let's start in Boston, man. You growing up in Boston, who put the ball in your hand, or where did that interest come from, and what was it like, growing up playing in Boston?
That's a great question. I started off playing basketball pretty late, like 12 and a half. And actually my first sport was football. First was football. And, once I got popped one time, I was like, all right, it's time to put my cleats up. And I ended up putting the ball in my hand. I would say the first person to put the ball in my hand was my cousin, really. My cousin Richard, we're around the same age, and he used to always, want us to play basketball. But at first I didn't, like I said, because I started playing late, so I wasn't that good or like the other kids, at the park or in my neighborhood. So it took me a while to fall in love with the game. I say about a year or two. But once I got that feeling, like basketball was probably my first love, probably after my mother. But basketball was probably my first true love. And after that, I just kept on getting better and passing people that were better than me and catching up to people, that was, on that level. So it worked out for me.
So what age or what grade did you feel like, all right, this is really what I want to do. This is what I'm gonna put my heart and soul into it to get better?
I would say 13. Once I realized that I can do what the guys are doing at the park or guys are doing at the gym or at the rec league or the rec center, and every single day I felt like I was getting better. And, so I'm a watcher. So I would watch. So usually I would watch some of the best players on the court, and I would try to mimic them. And, all right, well, who's the best shooter here? Or who's the best this? Or who's the best that? And I tried to take what I've seen in person, but also I loved Michael Jordan. So I remember I used to watch Come Fly With Me every day after school. And it just, it really consumed me. And, basketball was my escape. Growing up where I'm from, it's a lot of different avenues and a lot of different peaks and valleys and challenges that you have to go through, that you have to escape to stay on the right path. And I knew that I didn't want to go down a bad path. So I thought to myself, all right, what can I do to keep me busy, but also keep me active? And basketball was that thing. And, I just stayed in the gym.
Man, I tell you what, Hoop Dreams was my favorite. I don't know if you remember Hoop Dreams.
Yeah, man. I already know, man. That was, and you probably similar. That was some of our lifestyles. That was some of our environments that we grew up in. And watching a movie like that, you realize, hey, man, like there's levels to it. You always want to get past the next level and do better than the next guy, and give yourself an opportunity to be successful. So, I took that movie to heart because, both of those guys played their way through high school. One went to college, one went to community college, one ended up getting hurt. So it's like, like it's a wake-up call. And I realized at a young age that basketball is a privilege, and you got to take it seriously. You know, you got to take care of what you got to take care of on the court, like going to school and making sure that you're doing well in school. Because if you don't do well in school, you can't play. So, you know, at a young age, I realized, you know, this is what I want to do, and this is going to keep me out of trouble. But it's also going to make me feel good. I mean, like, you know, man. I mean, we played ball for over 2 decades, so you know that feeling. You know, when we hear the ball go into the basket, or we get to the rim, or you know, just that swish sound from the net. You know, it's gratifying.
Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now's the time, because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With football season kicking off, get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah, so just talk about you know, how it was going from Boston and then, you know, transferring to a prep school in Rhode Island, a whole other state. You know, how was that transition for you?
It was a big transition. Obviously, me, you know, leaving my brothers and sisters, leaving my city, leaving my family, and really, you know, basically taking a chance to go to a high school, be in another environment. At first, I was afraid to be away, and you know, because I wasn't used to the peace and quiet, the trees, going to bed at 9 o'clock. You know, lights out at 9 o'clock. You know, eating dinner at 5:30. You know, I wasn't used to the structure as much as I was used to back at home. So it was a big shift for me. I say like the first month, and I was, you know, and I remember asking my coach or telling my coach, like, Coach, I don't know if I can do this. And he said, you know, Mike Hart, and he said, D, if you make the decision, if you go back home, this would probably be the worst decision you ever make in your life. And I went back in my dorm. I thought about it. I was like, and I wrote down all the pros and cons about the situation that I'm in. And I realized this was an opportunity for me to not only be successful academically, but on the basketball court, because St. Andrews is one of those, well, it's probably one of the best boarding schools in the country. But athletically, they were up and coming. You know, there was a guy before me that was highly recruited by UConn named Tony Robinson. And I was kind of like the second guy to come on the scene and really try to make something out of myself. So at first it was, you know, first I was afraid. I was nervous, but, you know, once I got comfortable with the people and the teachers took me in like I was one of their own, and I always had the gym 5:30 and work on my game and do my schoolwork during the day. And after class, I'll go back to the gym. So it was exactly what I needed at the right time. And you know, there's no Demetris Nichols without St. Andrews.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going away for that year, I mean, you know, I think would help you transition into college, going into Syracuse. You know, you're traveling like a college schedule. The competition is more like a college, you know, type, with the guys coming from all over.
And like that's what it did for me. It kind of prepared me for college because I was living on a campus. I would have to walk to each class. I was already away from home. And so it kind of already prepared me for the college lifestyle, being on your own, being responsible, eating right, going to bed on time, doing your work on time, study hall. So all that stuff kind of prepared me for college. And that's why I say it, you know, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life was taking that leap and going to a boarding school to really give myself a chance to be successful, not just on the court, but off the court. And it paid off.
100%, bro. I say that every time when people ask about Oak Hill. I mean, that year at Oak Hill helped me so much going into Cuse. Like I'm going into Cuse, and it's like, you know, I'm playing against guys that, you know, aren't as good as where I was just coming from.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I
So
mean? So go ahead.
no, I get it. No, like so there's a lot of guys, like you said, like I played against guys that were my competition in high school. These guys are also going to college too. So like the competition, like being able to compete every single night on a high level and having college coaches come see you play, and obviously playing, AAU basketball also helped tremendously for me. But, St. Andrews was the structure that I needed and that most kids need at that age, because I think between the ages of 13, 14, 15, most young men are kind of in that crossroads of doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? Like making the right decision or making the wrong decision. So it was perfect. It was perfect for me.
And also too, I think another thing is the level of coaching is that's like a college level coach. When you go to those type of schools, St. Andrews, Oak Hill, whatever prep school it is, now you getting taught how to play the game the right way. So now that's another add on to when you go to the next level. You already know, what the coach is expecting from you.
For sure. And you went to a top tier high school basketball school, so I can only imagine what you guys were going through at Oak Hill and the experiences that you had and the guys that you went up against every single day in practice, the KDs, all the guys who basically got drafted. I'm pretty sure that you played with a lot of guys who got drafted into the NBA. Being that 1 year at Oak Hill. So I mean, and I
Absolutely.
think that probably prepared you for the next level in college, and that's why you came to college as a freshman. Like that dog. You know what I'm saying? So it works out.
No doubt.
It definitely works.
So
Yeah.
talk about your recruiting process a little bit. What schools were kind of, first to come about, and then, what ended up, why did you end up choosing Syracuse?
Well, it's funny because I remember I got my first letter. I think my first letter was from like Stony Brook, and then after that,
Stony Brook, okay.
every, yeah, yeah, like it was weird. I remember like it was like in a week span. I got one letter, then the week later, I had like a mailbox full of letters. And at first I was like, oh, well, this is okay. Well, at first I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just thought, okay, they like me, I guess, whatever the case may be. But I didn't put two and two together at first. But then I realized, these colleges are sending me letters every day because they want me to represent their school. They think that I could do well academically there, but not all academically, but also athletically. I could be successful on the basketball court. For some reason, I knew this is what I wanted. I had a long talk with one of my favorite teachers, Miss Minnie. She just passed away, and one of the reasons why I went to Syracuse was because they had the best communication school in the country. And I wanted to learn how to speak. I wanted to learn how to have a conversation with people. And a lot of people think that I committed after they won a national championship. But actually I committed uh, that I think that winter of 2003. So right before they won the championship. No, I'm sorry. I I committed my sophomore year in high school. So I had 2 years to just worry about basketball in school and passing my SATs, making sure that I get that taken care of. And then once I committed, I knew that I made the right decision. Not just obviously Syracuse, they recruit guys like myself, long, athletic, that can run and jump and shoot. So I knew that I made the right decision. And once they won the national championship, I definitely knew I made the right decision because I knew that we were going to be on TV.
Facts. So who recruited you?
Michael Hopkins.
Michael
Michael.
Hopkins. Tell me about that, man. Tell me about that
Uh,
recruiting process.
he was relentless. He was relentless in his recruiting process. From the letters, from the calls, from coming down and watching me play, whether it was in high school or AAU. He was relentless in his pursuit of 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 pursuing me to convince me to come to Syracuse. And I'll be honest with you, I fell in love with him. Like his enthusiasm, he made me believe in him and what he was saying, and I felt safe coming to Syracuse because I knew that I was going to not only be taken care of by him, but Coach B, Coach B.
No doubt. So you get to Syracuse, your first 2 years, you probably not as playing as much as you want to, but then your junior and senior year, you just break out. You know what I mean? You break out, you have a great junior, and then eventually your senior year, you win Big East Player of the Year. So during those first 2 years, you could have transferred, you could have quit and tried to go somewhere else. But what made you stay on track and be able to focus and lock in to where you could get past that adversity of not playing all the time, not getting those minutes that you wanted, and then eventually, seeing that hard work pay off, the third and fourth year? What really helped you lock in, or who really helped you lock in and stay on track?
Well, I wanted to transfer, honestly. My sophomore year, I was like, I don't know if this is the right thing for me. And I remember Coach Boeheim coming up to me like, do you really want to transfer? Like, name 3 guys that have transferred here or transferred out of here that was successful on the basketball court. And I went home, did my research. I was like, really nobody really, does well. And secondly, I just, I didn't want to quit, and I didn't want to give up, and I didn't want the easy way out. It's easy to quit and say, oh, I'm not getting my way, and oh, I'm not getting the time, or whatever the case may be. So instead of pointing the finger, I pointed the thumb. And I started to ask myself questions like, what can I do better to get time on the court? What do I have to do to put myself in a position to be successful? So I put it in overdrive. I started staying later in the gym. I started coming even earlier, getting extra shots up. I would, the coaches would put me through drills where I would have to sit on the bench after practice, 5-10 minutes after practice, and then he'll have me sprint on the other side of the court, and I have to make a 3-point shot because Hop was preparing me for coming off the bench and making plays. So I was not only preparing my body, I was preparing my mind. And, everything is mental. So once I got that mental side of things, I was able to just fight. I had to fight. And granted, nowadays, some kids, they don't want to, stick it through or figure it out or fight. But the ones who usually do, those are the ones that are successful, because, it's a life lesson, because not everything is going to be perfect. You're not always going to get your way. And who's to say that if you transfer, you're going to get the results that you are going to get? Because now you're going into a whole new situation, new coach, new culture, new locker room, new players, new position. And guys know that you're coming in to try to take their spot. So it's just like starting all over again. And I didn't want to start over, and I wanted to finish strong. And the ego in me, the pride in me wanted to prove Boeheim wrong. Absolutely. That I can, like I can play at this level, and I'm going to make you trust me. And in practice, and I tell the guys even today, your practice has to be your game. And usually the way you practice is the way you play in a game. So my motivation was, I prepared practice like I was playing in the Final Four. I was just locked in every single day in practice, and I couldn't afford to miss. So I would train my body and my mind to just be a machine and not miss. So he had to give me a chance. He had to give me an opportunity to play. And once I got my opportunity, I made sure that, I'm going to keep it. And that's how it worked. But that's just, that's a lesson. It's just showing that if you keep on fighting, if you keep on, like I said, instead of pointing the finger, pointing the thumb, and trying to figure out what can I do better. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of blaming somebody, ask yourself questions. What do I need to do, or what can I do better to be a better player, not just for myself, but for the team? And what piece of the puzzle can I add to it? And that was the best thing for me, because that was a life lesson. Because when I became professional, I knew in my mind I had to go in every situation and practice in a game like it was my last, because there's always somebody behind you trying to take your spot. Somebody behind you trying to take your spot, somebody in front of you, and on both sides. So you have to be locked in at every angle, because I mean, this sport is competitive and we have to play with an edge every single day. And I was able to do that. And that's why I say, like, I've overachieved in a lot of different ways. And, Boeheim is a part of my success because he tested my mind. And instead of giving up, I fought for what I believed in. And usually when your back is up against the wall, you're successful.
That's a fact. That's real. That's real talk right there. Being able to fight through it, and because life is all about that, peaks and valleys, and it's about being able to figure out how much you can challenge yourself, what your limits are, and being able to figure out how far you could go with it. So I know for me, go ahead.
And not everything's gonna be perfect. Like, everybody wants it on a platter, silver. Like, everybody wants it wrapped in a bowl. Sometimes you got to go get it. You got to go earn it. You got to be locked in every single day to give yourself a chance to be successful. And usually, when you put yourself on the line, the majority of the time you're going to succeed. And that's what I tell the guys now is every day is an opportunity to get better. And that's what actually Coach was talking about that today. One of his pregame speeches was, getting better every single day. And I take that to heart, because I know exactly what he's talking about is just trying to lock in and stay focused every single day. It's like building a foundation, brick by brick, day by day, shot by shot, drill by drill, game after game, just trying to perfect your craft.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people want it like this. It's really like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's really how the path is. But what moment where you saw Coach change, like, as far as him having that confidence and trust in you? You know what I'm saying? What was it, a game? Was it a practice? Is there some moment that you remember?
I don't remember, but I remember my freshman year, I sat, like, the first couple of games, I sat on the bench crying. I used to walk home sometimes from the Dome in the wintertime all the way to South Campus because I didn't want to talk to anybody.
Ooh, that's a walk, boy.
So I was just so, it's like, because, and that's what makes it difficult for these kids now, because they go to high school and they're the man at high school.
Yeah.
You guys play 30, 40 minutes a game, and then you come into a university and now you're just a piece of the puzzle. And usually it takes young men time to figure out what piece do they play in that puzzle. And that was my moment, trying to figure out, okay, what can I bring? What does the team need? What is my best skill that I could contribute to? I knew that we weren't, so I knew that we needed 3-point shots. So I make sure that I made 500 shots a day, 1,000 shots every other day, just making sure that I was always ready. And, it paid off. It paid off. Like I said, and usually when your back is up against the wall, people usually succeed when you put yourself on the line.
Hey, talk to me about that real Big East, though. Because they don't really know about that, D. You know what I'm saying? Like that real Big East, where it's like that real, like, physical every night. Like, I don't care if you're playing Rutgers or who. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to me about that.
Like, honestly, I think when we were playing, and I played with you for 3 years. Well, you played with me for 3 years.
2.
But 2 years?
Yeah, your junior and senior year. Your junior and senior.
No.
Come on, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? I'm not gonna.
No. When you was a freshman, I was a sophomore.
No, bro.
Yes.
UNT are 2 years older than me. UNT are UT and Mookie 2 years older than me.
You sure about this?
Tim fact checking it right now.
Yeah, Tim. Check that, Tim. But anyway,
yeah, right.
Listen, ain't nothing like the Big East. You know, especially when we were playing, like you said, every single night, you could lose. You can lose to any team in the Big East, and you had to compete, and you had to come. You didn't have to just bring your game; you had to bring your heart.
Right.
That's what I realized. You know, you have to bring your heart because you're not gonna get over easy. It doesn't matter if the team is 1-16 or 20-0. You had to bring it every single night. And you know, when we were in school, I think we had probably played in probably the number 1 or 2 top conferences in college basketball. But
number 1, bro.
For sure, definitely. I mean, we had some great times.
Tim said I was right. I'm just gonna say that right to you.
You was right. For some reason, I don't know. That's crazy. But for some reason, I thought you played 3 years. I don't know, man. I guess I'm sleepy. I don't know.
You sleepy over there. Wake up, huh?
But yeah, my senior year. So I have to correct you. So I wasn't Big East Player of the Year. Jeff Green was Big East Player of the Year.
My man. Right. Okay.
Yep. But I did lead the Big East in scoring. I truly believe that we had a better record than Georgetown, I probably would have got it. And that's why when we played Georgetown, I think the last game of the season in the Dome, I think they were like top 5 in the country, and we beat them at home. So I thought I was going to get it, but it's all good. Real recognizes real, and I knew that, I let my presence be felt my last 2 years of my college career. So I was very, very happy about the 180 I made from my first 2 years versus my last 2 years. I wish we would have went to the tournament though, man.
So look, that's crazy because I swear that you was Big East Player of the Year. I'm tripping though. That's my fault, but you deserve that thing. I'll tell you that.
For sure. I mean, like I said, go ahead.
No, that team. I was gonna say that Georgetown team. They came in like on a 12-game winning streak. Top 5 in the country, top 10 in the country, and that's when they stormed the court. We beat them.
Yeah.
And then we was like 10-6 in conference and 22-10 overall. We ain't made the tournament, bro. The biggest. We
were 23, like 2010. Like we was definitely over 20 wins, and I thought that we were gonna go in the NCAA tournament and really, really make some noise. And I was, I was upset because guys like you and Terrence and Darryl Watkins, we weren't able to show our skills on a national level, even though we played on TV every single night or the majority of the nights. We weren't able to show our skills on a national level and surprise a lot of people because, whenever Syracuse gets into the tournament, we shocked the world. So I was very disappointed that we didn't get a chance to to play in the NCAA tournament.
Man, that was the biggest disappointment, though. I remember. So I remember we was all in the basement watching it, and then we waiting to see.
Coach.
Yeah, coaches, we waiting to see. Man, that shit ain't come up. I swear on everything. I got up, walked out the house, bro. Walked out the house. Bro.
Everybody.
Like, man, I ain't playing no NIT, man. Come on, bro.
Everybody were disappointed because I think we had 2 bad losses, and one of those losses was my fault. But still, we won 22, 23 games in one of the top 2 conferences, and they still didn't let us in. But everything happened for a reason, and I'm just glad that everyone made it out there safe, especially me. My senior year, I was able to graduate with a speech communications degree, and I left it all out on the court.
That's a fact. What game do you think was your most memorable in a Syracuse jersey?
I would say that Georgetown game, the Big East tournament, when we, I think we were like one of the last seeds, and we ended up winning the Big East tournament in Madison Square Garden.
My freshman year, the four game run.
Yeah.
We were 8th seed.
So that, yeah, and we ended up beating everybody. You know, the whole world was against us, especially GMAC, and we were able to shock the world. That was fun. That was probably one of my best series of games, but we played like 3, 4, 5 games.
You were all tournament.
Personally, I would say this.
You were all tournament.
Yeah. Yep. And I would say the St. John's game in the Dome had 37 points.
Yeah.
Versus St. John, and that was probably one of my college games individually. It was probably I was hot. I was hot, and you guys did a good job of finding me. And and people always ask me about the way I play. I always say like I'm nothing without my teammates. Nothing without my teammates. Like without the guards or the point guards trying to find me. And so as much as I succeeded, my teammates have succeeded also.
Yo, I tell everybody that Big East run too, like how defensively in the back line we had you, Terrence, Mookie. That's 6'8", 6'11", 6'9".
Yeah.
And I tell people, I say, you don't know how big those our front court played that whole thing. Like Mookie and Terrence really came to play. Like when we beat UConn the second game, it might have been second game, but they had Josh Boone, Hilton Armstrong, all those guys.
They had a boat.
Yeah, and those dudes came to play. Terrence and Mookie was hooping.
Yeah, and that's why I say I wish we played in the NCAA tournament because
no, bro.
Whenever it was time to play like a championship type atmosphere, I think we not just those two, we all just felt like it clicked. It clicks, and we just we all become one, and it's just we were tough to beat. We were tough to beat, and I think we ended up beating Cincinnati to something like we went on a roll.
It was Cincinnati, UConn, Georgetown, Pittsburgh. So look, Cincinnati, James White, Devin Downey, a bunch of UConn, Marcus Williams, Rudy Gay, named all them, Josh Boone, Hilton Armstrong. Who's the third one? Georgetown, Hibbert, Jeff Green, Brandon Bowman, Ashanti Cook, like dudes, and then Pittsburgh, Carl Krauser,
it was a
Eric
battle.
Gray, Ronald Ramon, like you know what I'm saying? Like so these teams like that, we talked about the real Big East, bro. Like that was really like that team for us, bro, like we got better as the year went on. So like you said, like if we would have gotten that tournament like we were supposed to, like it would have been we had some talent.
Like, we definitely did, man. But and even to this day, I always think about like what if we would have got a shot, but it's all good.
Paul Harris that senior year as a freshman, like
Paul Harris,
that was
the bad. Remember we used to play 101, me, you, and him.
Yes,
every day.
Bro, that's like I tell people too, like they don't understand, like you got to be a competitor, you got to compete, and like that's where it started. Like you are one of the you go so hard, and then obviously Paul want to win, but like I'll tell everybody, like you the hardest dude I ever went against as far as like just playing, just a dog, just going at you, attacking you, and that's how you develop it, going against guys who are like it. You know what I'm saying? You tired of getting beaten up on, so you like, man, I gotta come the same way.
Exactly, and then we both established that same mentality. Now we're on the same team, so now we're both going into the game like you gotta be a killer because that's what we do every day. We play 1-on-1 every single day or every other day at least, just to keep that edge, and like even you was one of my toughest covers also, especially on the college level. Because I knew that if I had a bad day, like, you was gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? So you pushed me, and I hope I pushed you, because I think that's what it's all about, is helping each other out. And sometimes you don't even got to say it. Sometimes it's just, you know what, I'm going to carry myself a certain way. I'm going to play a certain way. I'm going to present myself a certain way, because iron sharpens iron. And I always wanted to make sure that, you know, I left the locker room trying my best, because I never wanted to cheat the game, you know.
No, ultimate professional. I tell everybody that, like, besides like the hoop, besides all that, like, ultimate professional. Like, you coming in, you cleaning up, you making sure, like, when you coming in, you appropriate with what you got on. Like, it's like, you know, like those little things, like you taking it serious. Like, when people are, all right, shit, he on his game. And I learned that from you too. Like, because you never know who's in the room, who's watching. And I know, and we'll talk about later about your GA position at Cuse. We'll get to that in a minute. But I know that's what you're bringing for these young fellas too. Like, that's that real shit. Because even it's funny, because playing with Kiefer, you know what I'm saying, this summer, and we got talking about you. You know what I mean? And I know you played with Kiefer in Italy, and he was like, man, this dude is the most ultimate professional. Right away I said, shh, you ain't got to tell me. I already know. Like, so, like, it's not just, that's real shit, bro. And like, that's what you bring into more so, you know, besides the hoop shit, like, you bringing that type of shit. And that's what now I think these kids, not sorry to get off topic, but that's what these kids really need, bro. Besides that hoop shit, like, you need to, this is how you got to act, bro.
Yeah, like, you have to carry yourself a certain way. And it's not like on no, like, it's not being fake. It's about maturing. And it's about, you know, learning how to become a man, you know. So I don't want to act like I was when I was a freshman. I don't want to act like I was when I was a sophomore. I don't want to act like I was when I was a junior. So every year, you want to mature, you want to develop, not just on the court, but off the court. And it takes time, you know. Everybody has their time when they develop and when they mature. And like, even you know, like, everybody always asks me, you know, how's E, like, what's, but they don't know you the way I know you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody has their opinion. And I always say, like, Eric is one of my greatest friends, greatest competitors that I ever been up against. But a lot of us are misunderstood. And I believe I'm misunderstood in a lot of ways. And I'm pretty sure you're misunderstood in a lot of ways. But, you know, when you get to know people, when you start to ask people questions, you realize that you're around some genuine that really care. You know, like, we're both girl dads, right? So you have 2 daughters, I have 2 daughters. And I don't even know how it's crazy, because I don't even know how I used to think before I had my daughters. But once I had my first daughter, I felt like my whole life changed. Like, everything that I did, everything, the way I approached things, the way I carried myself, was because of my children, and making sure that I set the example and put them in the best situation possible to be successful. And I always wanted to, you know, show them, you know, you got to believe in yourself. There's going to be trial and error, but if you continue to do the right thing, good things will probably happen to you. So, yeah, man.
100%, bro. So we'll talk about Coach for a second, man. What was it like overall, the overall experience playing for Coach? And do you have any, you know, I guess, locker room story when he was, fucking, you know what I mean? Some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, my locker room stories is probably,
We got some.
you know,
It's
a lot
many
of,
now.
yeah. We got, I mean, you know, Coach, you know, kind of like what I said earlier, there's certain players that he pushes, and that's credit to him, to his genius. Like, he pushed me, like, he pushed me, and like I said, it was a blessing in disguise, because he put me through so many obstacles. And, like, the ego in me, the pride in me, I was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna keep on fighting. I'm gonna keep on. Like, I have to not only show him, but I have to show myself that I have what it takes. And if he wasn't, and if he didn't make me earn everything that I've earned, I don't know where I would be professionally, because he taught me something at a young age that you're gonna have to fight for what you believe in, fight for what you deserve, and sometimes you're gonna have to change his mind. And I was lucky that I did. But he's always been a great resource for me. Have a conversation, ask questions, and one thing I like about him is that he's honest. He's honest. He's gonna give it to you straight. And he was telling guys of the day, if you don't know your role, then ask me and I'll tell you. And
Yeah.
he was able to. For me, it was amazing because I thought I was on the verge of not playing after my sophomore year, but instead I was able to just continue to find a way to push myself and continue. And like, he challenged me, and I accepted the challenge. And usually, once you accept the challenge, he respects that, and he'll let you go. And I was able to do some great things on that Syracuse floor. He's a great guy, though. Great guy. He gave me this opportunity to be a grad assistant, to not only coach, but to get my master's. And I'm taking full advantage of this opportunity so I could, something that they can't take away from me. They can't take away that I graduated, that I got my degree in speech communication. Can't take away that I led the Big East in scoring. And God willing, I'm my master's degree. And that's something that I always wanted to do. My grandfather was a genius. He had like 8 master's degrees. So now, I joined that club and really, put myself in a position to be even more successful. But he's a great guy, man. He's part of my foundation. And, he gave me the opportunity.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate real quick.
Sure.
Okay. So like, for a lot of kids now, it's hard for them to look at it like that. You feel what I'm saying?
No.
Like, it's hard for, like, because right away when they don't get the opportunity, they taking it personal. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for kids to take it like how you looked at it from your perspective. Like, oh, he taught me hard work. He taught me sacrifice. He taught me discipline. And you 100% right. That's just exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to see if you got that in you, if you got that dog in you, right? So
And everybody's road is different. So I may not have the same path that you had when you came to Syracuse, or I may not have the same path as this guy or that guy. So everyone's path is different. The only thing that matters is if you get to your destination or not. And that's why in today's environment, and granted, there's some places that just don't work out for kids. So that happens. But there's guys who are starters on their college team and transfer. I just don't understand that part of it. So, and it's gonna continue to happen. It's sad to say, it's gonna continue to happen that college kids are going to make that choice to the transfer, go somewhere else. And the funny thing is that all these kids think that they're going to make it to the NBA. Do you know how hard it is to make it to the NBA? It's like 0.8%. It's less than 1%. Guys make it to the NBA. Like, you're going up against not only guys in your conference, guys in other conferences, guys who play professionally in Europe, free agents that's been in the league, and you got to be a special player. Everything, not everything, but especially guys in the second round, everything has to work. Everything has to fit for you to be successful in the NBA. So if some of these kids think that, oh, well, I'm a transfer, and I'm gonna go to the league, or I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. But what's gonna happen if you transfer? You don't go to the NBA. You don't get your degree. Now what? You feel what I'm saying? So why not stick it out? Why not learn, ask questions, and try to figure out, hey, what do I need to do to help my team win? What do I need to do individually to put myself in the best situation to be successful? Because not everything is greener on the other side. And so I just hope that these college kids who do transfer, I just hope that they get their degree. I think that's the most important thing is getting your education, because if you don't get that degree, then it's all right. So now you can't. So now you have no more leverage. So, but it's gonna happen though. Sad to say, it's gonna happen. I mean, that's the world that we live in.
And I'm gonna keep it
What
real
you think?
too, P. I'm gonna keep it real. Like a lot of these kids, like you could practice every day, you could do everything you're supposed to do, and still not make it. Sometimes it just don't work out. But I will say this now. Nowadays with the NIL and all these different opportunities with these different leagues, and like we said, now everybody gonna make it to the NBA. But now more than ever, it's super important to be able to leverage everything you got, like as far as like shaking hands, network, meeting, and figuring out how to do it when hooping is done. Like now, and like, okay, now let me make this NIL money and then put it away for a little bit. Like I just think, because like we talking about, not everybody gonna make it to the NBA, or not everybody's gonna have that D Nick where they go, they grinded out 2 years and then ended up be a superstar those last 2 years. It's gonna be different for everybody. So I think now more than ever, they can capitalize on figuring out how I could leverage this hooping that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And then take advantage of all this other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And but I'm gonna play. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you.
Okay.
You a freshman, and you ain't gonna listen, or I'm not gonna listen, or the majority of kids are not gonna listen to, oh yeah, well, all right, put your money over here, put your money over here. These guys want to go shopping. They want to, you know what I'm saying? Like they want to just spend.
You gotta have the right people around you.
True, and just not knowing what to do with it. So I just hope that they have a nice, like you said, like having a circle, having a group of people that really care about you and really help you, because everybody wants the short game, but it's a long game. It's a long game, and you got to think about the future. And this is the life that we living in now, man.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. It's definitely different. Well, but let's talk about, after Syracuse, you had a great career. Those last 2 years, you put yourself in position to be an NBA prospect, and you ended up getting drafted in 2007 by Portland. But right when you saw your name, heard your name called, you came a long way from, Boston, St. Andrews, not playing at Cuse, busting your ass, getting those all Big East those last 2 years, and then you get drafted, like a childhood dream for a lot of kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that feeling like for you?
It's a dream come true. It's a dream. It's a dream come true, man. To be able to see the work pay off. Seeing, like we'll go in the gym. Like me and you go in the gym all day, every day. We work out on our game, and it's funny because when I got drafted, it's the funniest thing, because the only thing that I can think about is the time that I was working out when I didn't want to work out. So that's the first thing that went in my mind. It's like, man, like the times I didn't want to go to the gym, that's why I'm in the position that I'm in now. Like I'll put myself in a position to be successful, even though I didn't want to go to the gym. I was tired, I was frustrated, whatever the case may be. I didn't get my way, but I kept on staying the course. And it's a journey, it's a long journey, and it paid off. And that's another thing that, you can't take away from me, is that, I was one of the best players in the world. And you know, and I think that's a great story, or that's great to have something like that, be a part of my story. Is I was able to overachieve, not just off the court, but on the court. I was able to follow my dream and say that I would wanted something, and I went to go get it, and I got it. So very, very grateful and thankful, and dream come true though. One of the best times in my life.
Yeah, so Cavs, Bulls, Knicks, and, kind of talk about that NBA experience, and then also, during your time with Cleveland, I know you're able to be with LeBron a little bit, and what was that experience like with him, and kind of what did you take from him maybe that you still remember and keep with you today?
I was able to, I was blessed to play on 3 different NBA teams. Like you said, LeBron. Man, he was, so I knew LeBron when I was in high school. So we both, we graduated in 2003. So we actually played in the Round Ball Classic together. So we knew each other playing AAU against him a lot. And so to be able to play professionally with him and talk about how we used to play in high school and, how we competed against each other from time to time, playing in the All-American game together and being on that stage, it was another crazy experience. Like, I'm hanging out, I'm teammates with one of the best players in the world. And, it just showed me where I came from, where I'm at, and where I'm going. And it was a beautiful experience. I was able to play with Derrick Rose in Chicago, play with Nate Robinson, Stephon Marbury with the Knicks. So I was able to see Hall of Famers. I was able to be around Hall of Famers and see how they carry themselves and what they did on a regular basis. And when you're around successful people, you try to take bits and bits of what they have and add it to your belief system. And so, like, to be able to kick it with them, hanging out, ask questions, party, it was fun.
What are some of the habits that you saw those guys do every day that really made them successful and that you still keep with you?
So one of the things that I learned is, NBA guys you got to have a short-term memory, because you're not going to have a perfect game every single night. You're not going to get the shots that you want, and you got to be ready the next day, next play, next game. That's one of the things that I learned that I took away was, guys don't get frustrated if they go 0 for 10. They're going to make the next one. They're going to make the next one. That's one of the things that I did learn from being around those type of players was you have to have ultimate confidence in yourself, because, like I said, you're going to have bad nights. You're going to have guys who are going to want to stop you. And to be able to have that confidence in yourself and have that short-term memory, I think it's priceless, especially on the playing field. And those are the ones, and I think that's the difference between certain guys that are successful, guys who are not successful. Can you recover? How fast can you recover for the next day, next play, next game?
So you had a 12-year NBA career, or a 12-year professional career. Yeah, right. That'd have been absolutely. So you played in the league, but then you went overseas and played high level, probably the second best league in the world, behind the NBA, with winning the EuroLeague championship with Cheska, then playing in Greece with Panathinaikos. Talk about the difference from NBA to going over and playing in EuroLeague. How was that for you?
At first, I didn't want to go. First, I was like, well, I'm out the league. Maybe I'm just, maybe do I keep trying? I was going to keep pursuing my NBA dreams, but I had a family to take care of. And I had to make a decision. Okay, am I going to keep on put myself and my family in this position where we're moving around, money's running low because I only played 2 years in the league. So what do I have to do if I'm going to take this seriously? I have to go overseas and make some money. And, it was a personal decision. All right, what do I want to do? Do I want to get a regular job right now? I know that's down the line from now, but right now, do I want to get a regular job at 23, 24 years old? And back then, no. I wanted to pursue my playing career. And at first, like I said, I was homesick, but I got used to it. And eventually, I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed going to different countries and being in a different environment. It kind of reminded me of, it took me back to St. Andrews, so I had to learn to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations all over again. And I don't know if I could have done that if I didn't have the journey that I had from going to St. Andrews, staying at Syracuse for 4 years, being away from home at a young age, and now being on my own in Europe. But the basketball was good. It was good. I was able to play on some great teams. I was able to meet some beautiful people, develop some great friendships with people overseas. And it was a priceless moment, priceless opportunity. Because there's some people that I know who's never left the United States of America, and I was able to live in 6, 7, 8 countries and experience a different culture. And like I said, taking nits and bits of, certain environments and bringing it into my situation and bringing it to my home. So that was fun. It was amazing to play against some of the best people in the world on everyday basis.
That's crazy how all that is connected to where, you go from Boston to St. Andrews, and then you go to Syracuse, and then, you go through your ups and downs at Syracuse, but you stick it out, and you had the last 2 years, and then you did the NBA, and then 2 years, then you go overseas. All that like prepared you to be able to, you've been away from home. Now you're going to Russia. You're in the middle of nowhere. You've done it before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything is kind of like interconnected, and I know you do a great job of kind of like looking at it like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like this, kind of prepared me for this situation, and this, like, you, I know you're one of those type of people who always looks at things like, hey, it happens for a reason, and I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to go ahead and figure it out. So
Yeah.
No, that's dope, man. What was your favorite country to be at overseas? Your best experience?
I would say Greece. Greece was beautiful. You guys had water, they had mountains. They loved their basketball out there. I was able to, I was fortunate to play on the best team in Greece, Nikos. The fans love basketball. Great food. I love Russia. I love living in Moscow, and beautiful city. I was able to travel in Turkey and France. Like, honestly, everywhere I lived, or everywhere I visited, or everywhere I played, it was just a unique, like, it was something unique about everywhere I went. And I wish I would have took more pictures, and I would have recorded more stuff, or had more experiences. Being able to go out before the game. But usually, when you are a player, you go to a different country, you don't really have time to walk around the town and visit certain things because you're so focused about the game. So that's one of the things that I wish I would have did more, was sightsee a little bit more and really take advantage of where I was in the world.
That's a fact, and that's a message for them young fellas coming right out. Like enjoy the culture. Yeah, learn the culture, enjoy the experience. Like, you get to see the world and you get paid to do it. You take advantage of that experience, man, because like you said, not a lot of people leave their block or go a half an hour, 45 minutes to a different city. Like, you going 12-hour flights or 8-hour flights. So that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, bro.
And it actually helped me, just become a man and, developed. I was able to I had crazy stories in Europe too. I remember, sitting on the bench a couple of times, and I was playing on one of the best teams in the world, but I was just a small piece of the puzzle. So I had to humble myself, like, okay, how could I, what can I bring to this team? And I sacrificed a lot, but I became a champion. I made the most money that I ever made playing on that team. And I developed relationships with people, and priceless experiences that I had. And not every, not everything is gonna be perfect, but you could, humble yourself and see your own value and see what you bring to the table and do it at your best ability. You're gonna be successful. So, and I was able to do that on multiple teams. So, very, very happy that I was able to be healthy. My last year playing professionally, that's when I got hurt. I had ankle surgery. That's when I knew it was about that time, because I never wanted to play the game 80%. So once I damaged my ankle, I knew that it was time for me to take that next chapter and get a regular job.
Yeah, so we talked about earlier, we're gonna hop right into it. You retired now, but when you retired, you stuck around Cuse, you did radio, you got your own podcast, you do a whole bunch of stuff in the community as far as giving back, Thanksgiving, back to school, all types of stuff. But now you back into really what you love to do and what you wanted to do. And that's with basketball. You're a grad assistant back at Syracuse. What was that like for you? First off, from being a player and now going into coaching, then also being able to get back and do what you love to do.
Oh, it's a great opportunity for me. I knew that I always wanted to help, always wanted to inspire, encourage, motivate, and help help guys like you and I who've been through it, who know the struggle, who know what it takes to be a star, not just on the court but off the court, to pursue your dreams. And I believe that I have a good resume when it comes to things like that. And I always tell the guys, like, I've been the last guy on the bench, and I've been big man on campus. So I know what certain guys are going through. I know what it's like to be the man, the pressures. I know what it's like to not be the man and the pressures of that too. So I'm able to connect with certain guys on a certain level and just help them along the way and give them everything that I have, everything that I've learned when I was a player, and everything that I wish I knew when I was a player. And I think that's what it's all about, is paying it forward, because we're not here without other people pushing us, showing us the way, even when sometimes we disagree, or sometimes we may not believe what the coach is saying or what our teammates are saying. But eventually, as you mature, as you get older, you realize, man, you know what? Like, this person really, really cared about me, and now I get it. And so my job is to, play my piece of the puzzle on this team and help out as much as I can. Obviously, I'm limited on how much I could help, being a grad assistant, but the experience, learning, asking questions, being around 3 amazing assistant coaches every day, and being around the Hall of Fame head coach every day is priceless. So I try to take advantage of every day and learn as much as I can. And every day it's a new challenge for me. Being able to inspire these young men to pursue their dreams and help them along the way.
And I know one thing for sure. I know you said you are limited, but I know just your presence and the respect that that they give you, it makes a huge difference, bro. They're gonna benefit from that. Now and when you talking to them, you will give them that real spill, that real talk. Like, it's not gonna be anything different, and they can feel that, and they're gonna benefit it, bro. Just being around that, and You know, you big bro. I mean, you a coach, but they you know, it's big bro, and they gonna open up more so than they would with other people and possibly other coaches. So, I mean, you being around the program, I think people understand how beneficial that's gonna be for these guys, being comfortable, and then that translates to playing well. You know what I'm saying? So let me know. Give me a little something. Give me a little preview. Like what's it looking like this year, man? We going back to the tournament? What's going on?
I mean, you know what? Every team, every season is new. I feel like every season is a new opportunity to be the best you can be. And so far, we've been working hard every single day, trying to put ourselves in a position to be successful. Guys are there all day long. Guys live in the gym, so it's good to be a part of that and see their hunger and see their desire to be good. Because as much as we're Syracuse, we're still a top 10 program in the country. We still have a lot to prove, and we can't take that for granted. We have to play with a chip on our shoulders, and I believe that we will. I can't predict the future, but I know that we're going to work hard and we're going to fight every single night.
And for the fans out there, he said top 10. He mean all time, top 10 all time win this program. So when you hear this, just know that. All right, you know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, this is Syracuse, man. You have legends that wore this jersey and wore Syracuse across their chests. I know for me, I played for the guys. Not only did I play for my teammates, play for myself, I also played for the guys that were before me. And I think it's bigger than us in the moment. And we have to realize that you're part of a legacy. And every time you put on a Syracuse jersey, it's not a right. It's a privilege to be a part of this university, part of this team. So that's how I walk in every single day. I walk in the office, walk in the gym every day, motivated, encouraged, inspired to make a change. And that's what I think I'm here for, is to help young men become men and push them and show them the way, and hopefully help them become better than I was when I was a player here. So that's my piece of the puzzle.
That's a fact. That's what we're supposed to do. So look, last question. And I know everybody working hard, D. I know everybody up there lifting, grinding, they be drilling it up, we playing, we hooping. But tell me this. Tell me this one thing, bro. What player is up there you be like is jumping out that page to you right now? Like, damn, all right, he looking good.
You know what? I feel like all these guys are doing well, man. I feel like everyone has took a step. And granted, I wasn't a part of the staff last year, but me covering the team last year with Cuse on the couch, with Brian Higgins, doing some post game stuff. I followed the team, and so I kind of knew what was going on from a distance. But now that I'm in it, I just believe that everyone has taken a step. I don't want to ruin the surprise. So I expect certain guys to step up. I expect certain guys are going to get that opportunity to play, and I think they're going to take advantage of their opportunity. So it's going to be an interesting season, and I think a lot of guys are going to shock the world and make some noise in this conference. But we have a good group of guys. We have a guy that's coming in, we have new guys. Cole Swider, a sharpshooter who transferred from Villanova. He's probably one of the best shooters that I've seen in a long time. I think he's determined. He's ready to show what he can do. Who else? The young point guard that transferred from Marquette, Syracuse. Samir Torrance. He's, I feel like he's a great piece to the puzzle of being a backup to Joe. He brings experience, and I think it's going to be interesting on what pieces. Obviously, Jimmy Boeheim just joined the team, transferring. He has one more year left, so we added some nice pieces that get over the hump. We're always gonna have challenges. We're always gonna, we always want to do better than we want to do. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how this team grows and how this team, fights through their battles every single day. Because in practice, these guys are competing. They compete. Everybody wants to win, and that's a good sign that everybody seems to be locked in and really focused on what the mission is and what the goal is.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times, bro, it's not about having a superstar or one guy saying everybody go hard, everybody play their role like we talked about. I mean, those are what the great teams are, especially in college. You see guys in college average 25 points, they don't even make the tournament or whatever. You know what I mean? But great teams are the guys who got those pieces, and I like the personnel, bro. We got bigs who can shoot it, step out. That's what type of game it is now. And then, like you said, you got guys coming in. Samir, running the point, solid defense, making shots, and obviously, Buddy and Joe coming back. And then another guy I'm excited to see, bro, my guy Benny Williams. I heard a lot of.
Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot about. Yes, he's a freshman. I didn't mention him because I was mentioning all the transfer guys. But yes, he's a young prospect. From IMG, does a lot of different things. We're still working with him. And, he's learning every single day. It's a process. And he's learning. A lot of guys are going to be surprised by Frank Anselm. I think he plays with high energy. He can fly, plays with a chip on his shoulder. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in the beginning of the year when he gets his opportunity. And obviously, Barama coming back from injury, so it's going to be interesting. How we're going to play. Jesse took a step. Everybody, like I mentioned, everybody has taken a step. Georgia Rod's playing well. Buddy's doing his thing, staying in tip-top shape. Making sure that he has a good senior year. So it's going to be fun to watch these guys battle together because I think they're tired of battling against each other in practice because, these guys go hard in practice. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they compete when the other team doesn't have a Syracuse jersey on and what level of intensity they can bring night in and night out. And I'm just excited just to be on the boat.
Yeah, bro. I like that those three centers, bro. Athletic, can move. Barama, Jesse, Frank, and like you said, Frank, like he like stupid athletic, like as far as like moving, you know what I'm saying? That's what type of in the zone we need that type of length. That Benny too in the back of the zone. Whew.
Yeah. And like that's what we talk about is energy, going to the offensive rebounds, helping your team get second chance opportunities because not everybody's going to shoot 75%, 50%. So that means there's going to be basketballs out there that's coming off the rim where guys can get it and crash the boards and create opportunities, getting to the free throw line, making the game easier for themselves. So, I expect a lot of guys to go to the offensive rebounds and play with that energy. You know, and sometimes you may go to the boards 5 times and you may not get it, but at least 2 of the 5 times you're gonna get it, and that's 40%. I mean, that's great odds. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can bring, especially in the beginning of the year, and see where they are and see where they can grow once the ACC tournament starts rolling around. But very, very excited about this team, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do and how far we can push ourselves to be as good as we need to be.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it, bro. I'm looking forward to going to the dome and hearing that crowd and feeling that energy.
Listen, I can't wait for the fans. I can't
Right.
wait for the fans. Oh man, and I know the players can't wait for the fans either. I think it's, you know, even when we played in the coming back together a celebrity game, man, like I felt like it was
Yeah, you out there getting
07 out
30
there.
and shit. Like, man, come on, man.
Bro, you know what it is? Yo, every time I walk into the dome, it's just something special, man. And I guarantee if we would have played anywhere else, I probably wouldn't have had 30. But playing in the dome, it was just, I feel like it's the, you know, like it's the mecca of where we started, man. You know, and you got to respect the court, you got to respect the legacy, you got to respect the name that, you know, that's across your chest. The guys look at me like, damn, man, like you going so hard. I'm like, bro, that's the only way I know. Like, that's all I know. I'm sorry. All I know. Like I can't half-ass it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're mad at me because I'm going 110%. That's why I was a professional for 13 years. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we had fun, and I'm sad that we have to wait another year, another 3 years to do it again. But we had fun though, man. Like it was good to compete with y'all.
No doubt. It was dope. D, man, I appreciate you, bro. My dog, for coming on and chopping up for a little bit, man. I know you're busy, so I appreciate you taking the time, bro.
Man, I appreciate you, man. And, you know, you're doing a great job. You know, to watch you grow as it's impressive. So I just hope that you accomplish all your goals in your life and you continue to push. I know you are, and good luck in the next chapter in your life. And, you know, just keep on grinding, bro. Keep on grinding.
One thing I know with you is I'm always gonna get some positivity. I'm always gonna get some of that good advice to help me going, bro. So I appreciate that. And let's get you on later down the road during the season when y'all getting ready for that ACC tourney or NCAA tournament.
Would love to, man. Would love to. I tell the fam I said hello. Anytime you want me on, man, holla at me.